Manchester United returned to Premier League action after the international break with a much needed victory over Brentford at Old Trafford. Now we're going to look at the good, the bad, and the awful. Starting with the good, and I think there's a lot of positives to take from this game. I think every player had a fantastic game, really. I don't think there was one player really that underperformed. Garnacho was a constant threat throughout the game, especially in the second half, and obviously the goal he got then as well was a fantastic ball from Rashford, first time finish from Garnacho. But yeah, constant threat throughout the game. Um, I think Delict was immense. Like, he's an absolute beast of a player. Um, I think the image of him on the pitch with the blood running down his face, I think, to me, it shows that he has the right mentality to be a Manchester United player. Um, like, he didn't want to come off the pitch at all at any stage. Um, like, he led from the back. He was first to every tackle, or first to every ball. He was aggressive in every tackle. And I think it's easy to see why he's been the captain at every club he's played for. And look, it's early days, but he's future captain material. It's easy to see why. As I say, he's a real proper leader. I think alongside Martinez at the back, there's makings of a formidable partnership there. They both have that similar mentality of leave everything on the pitch. They will fight for every ball, and they fight for the badge. So that partnership is really promising. It's definitely one that could be playing for United for many years to come. Um, and obviously Martinez did. I think he did an excellent job filling at left back. Obviously there was talks during the week that it was looking like it was going to be Johnny Evans, but um, Evans played alongside Delict at centre half, and Martinez played it on the left, and he was pretty decent there. Obviously, it was good to see Delo looking comfortable again, switching back to right back. Obviously shows that obviously that's his favourite side, and look, he can do a job at left back, but he's definitely more comfortable at right back. I thought Casemiro and Ericsson were both excellent again, um, especially in midfield, controlling nearly everything. Um, Rashford, Bruno, both excellent. And Highland obviously as well was fantastic as well. Linking up the forward play, delaying the ball to get other players into position. There was a couple of moments then where he was getting the ball, turning his man, and he played in Garnacho, and Garnacho had a decent chance as well. So Highland's overall play was excellent yesterday, and of course the finish for the goal as well was pure class. Lovely little dinked finish. I think Mazraoui coming on for 5 minutes at the end of the game as well. The massive plus to have him back. I think it was a big surprise to everyone to see him coming onto the pitch. Um, Considering he was suffering from albeit it was a minor condition, but he had to have a corrective procedure to kind of sort it out only last week. And to see him back on the pitch already is definitely a massive positive, and it's great to see him back. But yeah, there's many positives to take from that game. Obviously, scoring goals as well, um, creating the chances, obviously, which we have been. I said it in the watch along yesterday. Scoring goals is the one area where we've really been lacking in recent weeks. Like, we've been defensively fairly solid, and scoring goals is where we've been lacking, and we need to sort that out quick. Thankfully, we did it today, albeit look, we went behind. We'll get into that in a bit, but look, we came out in the second half fighting, and we started it brilliantly. Scored a goal within the first 2 minutes of the second half starting, and just kicked on from there and dominated the game. Didn't allow Brentford really any chances. I think they only had 2 shots in the second half, so it shows how much we dominated that game. Yeah, plenty of positives. Will it ease the pressure on Ten Hag? Will for some. Obviously, it's not going to for a lot of people. A lot of people still want them out, but yeah, look, there's plenty of positives to take from the game. And now on to the bad. And obviously, I think it's the goal we conceded. Is so poor from our point of view. In terms of how we defended it. I mean, yes, De Ligt went off because because of the blood. But I'll get into that again in a minute. But it was so poorly defended. I mean, Delo was marking Pinnock on the edge of the box, and just completely let his man go. There was no desire to get back in front of him, goal side, make sure he doesn't get that header. um, you're allowing a player a free header in the 6 yard box. It's just unacceptable. And yes, you could argue the De Ligt probably would have been in that area to clear the ball had he still been on the pitch. But as a team, you need to recognise that he's not on the pitch, and you need to cover that area, cover that space that he was likely to be in, and defend it better. Yeah, it was such a poor goal to concede, and obviously the timing of it is horrendous time to concede right on the stroke of half time. But yeah, that's probably the only bad from the game really. And now the awful. I think for me, it's the medical team that worked on De Ligt with his injury. I mean, he picked up the injury, I think, was it 15 minutes into the game. Why wasn't he just bandaged up from the very, very start? Like, after he first went off for the treatment, when he first picked up the cut on his head, he had to go off 2 more times to get treatment because of the blood. Obviously, the third time was when we conceded the goal. But like, why wasn't he bandaged up from the very, very start? We've seen it countless times in the past where a player gets a cut on his head and he's bandaged up, he's strapped around his head, and it totally negates the need for any further treatment if the bleeding can't be stopped. Look, obviously they thought they'd stopped the bleeding, but look, twice he had to go off. I think the first time, the second time he had to go off was right on 45 minutes. And then obviously then after, what was it, 45, 46 or 49, 50 minutes into the game, like 5 minutes into injury time, the end of the first half when we conceded the goal. Like, if he was patched up properly from the start, there wouldn't have been any of that nonsense that we seen at half time where we conceded the goal. But yeah, I think, look, it's something we can look at it. Yes, you could probably argue as well, look, the referee probably, it was a harsh one to kind of send him off. And, obviously the bench were arguing that it was dry blood, but look, the letter of the law, the referee, the blood was visible, so letter of the law, the referee had to send him off the pitch. But if he had been treated properly from the start, we wouldn't have seen any of that. But look, there's plenty of positives to take from it. It was a win at home against a Brentford team that have caused us problems in the past, and many people said they would cause us problems again this time. Look, we've seen the form they've been in recent weeks, scoring The last 4 games, they've scored a goal within a minute and a half of the game starting. So to totally negate that, and I even said it in the watch along yesterday, it's probably something that Ten Hag and the team won't get credit for, is nullifying any threat from Brentford. Like, they only had 8 shots in the entire game, 2 in the second half in total, and they were going to be a real threat for us going forward, and we didn't see it. And I think it's because of how we were set up and how we nullified any threat that they had. And we've seen that in many games this season so far. We're coming up against teams that are expected to cause us problems, and they don't. Look, the Spurs game aside, we were just atrocious in that game. There was a lack of effort right across the pitch. But this game was completely different. It was a much, much better performance all around. We scored goals. But yeah, plenty of positives. But look, now we just need to see it consistently. Now we need to. This needs to be the turning point for the season, and we need to see this kind of performance on a consistent basis, week in, week out. Hopefully, now we see something similar on Thursday night against Fenerbahce in the Europa League. Obviously, that's going to be a tough game away. And then next Sunday away to West Ham, which, look, let's be honest, is a winnable game. And if we perform like we did yesterday, I don't see any other result than a United victory. But we just need to see that consistent performance now. But yeah, look, thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Are you happy with the performance? Happy with the result? Do you think it's good enough to ease the pressure on Ten Hag from the media? But yeah, let me know. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. And we'll catch you later.